Soundstripe. 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 Soundstripe.
'70 some days before we get to our current presidential election. That is something that most of us don't give a shit about, but we should pay particular attention to what's actually happening right now because we are going to be the I don't want to call us victims, but we will receive whatever this next president and vice president has to offer. And because of that, it's very important that we try and pay attention to what's actually happening here because it's so much going on and so many people saying that they got it, they're going to do it. You know, we got to pay attention because I don't want to see America turning into a situation where it is not conducive to us as black people living in this country. Shalom, shalom. I want to welcome you to the Black News Network, the real voice of Black USA. This is from the desk of the Emiossary. I am War Smith, your host, bringing you the news from a black point of view. We do not own the rights to the music, but we do own the rights to what we say. So let's look at the world right now and kind of try to figure out what we're up against in this country and why we got to pay attention to what's happening here in US of A. Number one, there are certain democratic countries on the planet, and there are certain dictatorship countries on the planet. And everybody think they have it the right way. You know, whether it's a dictatorship or whether it's a democratic. Basically, if we look at Black's Law Dictionary and we look up the word dictatorship, bear with me, it might take me a second because I really want to be thorough with what we're going to talk about. This is something that we should all be able to know, and this is a book that we should all have. The Black's Law Dictionary gives you definition that's used by lawyers, and these definitions are about the most honest, not saying honest, but the most relevant part of a trial or court case. This is where they go to get the facts, to the Black's Law Dictionary. You know, they have a lot of, I'm at DIS now. It's a lot of S's in the dictionary. And, you know, I don't really worry about the time. I mean, I'm going to put the information out. You can come back and look at it if you want to. I'll look it up later and I'll post it for you. However, we have Donald Trump and Tim Walz running for the Republican Party. Tim Walz, in his second term as a Minnesota governor and chairs the Democratic Governors Association, a one-time high school teacher and a football coach. That's for Kamala Harris. But I wanted to talk about J.D. Vance. That's who I really want to talk about. J.D. Vance was elected to the U.S. Senate from Ohio in 2020 after receiving a boost from Donald Trump in a contentious Republican primary. A venture capitalist, and you know what a venture capitalist is, right? Somebody who spends money that don't know what the fuck they're trying to buy. They spend it on anything thinking they're going to get a lick. It's like playing the lotto with a venture capitalist. The author of the best-selling memoir, Hillbilly Elegance. Now, it's a bestseller because Donald Trump promoted it and he published it. Vance has once been a key voice in the Never Trump campaign. He really talked about Trump in 2016. He did not want Trump to be president either. But he later became a leading MAGA proponent. Make America Great Again. Courting the former president at meetings in Mar-a-Lago and through appearances on Fox News. In other words, he started kissing Donald Trump's ass, and somehow Donald Trump let somebody else pick him. Donald Trump, 78 years old, so him and Biden are kind of neck and neck, so it ain't that far off. He was born in New York, and he used to be a Democrat. Now he's a Republican. So we got on the Republican side, we got Donald Trump and J.D. Vance running for the president and the vice president of the United States of America. Now, on the other hand, on the Democratic side, we have Kamala Harris. And, we as Black people, we're pissed off at her about what she did to Black people in California. And that's understood. She did what she did. She had a job to do and she did it well. And you really can't fault a person for doing their job well. Look at Bass Reeves, the one that they stole the Lone Ranger from. He had to arrest his own son. So was he wrong? His son was guilty. Was he wrong for doing that? No. He did it because his son had done some atrocious things and it was time for him to go to jail. Now, if you want to be mad at somebody about this, is putting people in jail, be mad at America for the shit they've done to Black people. Kamala Harris ain't did shit compared to what they've done. Some of us just like to pick something to have an attitude with, and then we express it to other people and try to get them to see it our way. It's not that way. Kamala Harris is trying to be the first Black, African-American, female, whatever other races she is, president, a person, and now they're trying to push this shit called person of color. That's some bullshit if I ever heard it. And see, when they say person of color, that's fine. But and I know that they're not talking about a person descendant of slaves. Anytime you hear person of color, they're not talking about a descendant of slaves. That's basically what that means. Vice President Kamala Harris announced her candidacy for the Democratic nominee presidential after the actual president, Joe Biden, withdrew his nomination. And normally, just so you know, the trend is whoever is the president at the time, right before the next election, they are the ones who will get the nomination. There's only one president that made it known before the next year that they were not going to run for president again, and that was Johnson. And it had a lot to do with the Vietnam War and how people were coming back from the war. She's 59 years old, by the way. She's the current vice president of the United States, the highest ranking female in politics. Listen to that. The highest ranking female in politics. She previously served as a U.S. Senator from California. She's an attorney, and there's a difference between an attorney and a lawyer. So we'll get to that too. Her partner, her vice presidential candidate, Tim Walz. I already told you most of the stuff about him. He was a coach, and everybody wants to push that narrative. But Donald Trump was in the dump for a while when Kamala Harris got the announcement that she's going to be the candidate or the nominee for the Democratic Party. On one hand, you got the Democratic Party. On the other hand, you got the Republican Party. They always say left when they talk about Democrats, and they always say right when they talk about Republicans. But it's all about the way you look at it. I mean, when they talk about white and dark or dark and light, the darkness always seems to be the worst thing and where the bad shit happens. But in reality, all the bad shit happens in the daylight. You can see this shit happening day in and day out right in front of your face. Because at night, most people with common sense ain't out trying to make no deals. So the deals are made during the day. So America got us so hypnotized and so programmed a certain way that we believe black is dirty. We don't realize the power we have. We have a lot of power as black people. And it's going to come out during this election. As I mentioned earlier, this is going to be a democracy or a dictatorship. You've been told already that day one, you're going to get the dictatorship out of Donald Trump. He told you that. And his objective is to go after certain people and prosecute certain people. His agenda, his mindset is nowhere near what we need to be thinking about in the US of A. His mentality is about getting revenge on the people that kicked his ass during last election. He still has not admitted to being the inciter of the January 6th insurrection. Now, many of us don't, I mean, we know that they were wrong for attacking the Capitol, but some kind of way, somehow, these white folks lie so goddamn much that some of us start to believe that bullshit. Ain't no way somebody can attack your house now, and then come back and be your friend. If they do, something wrong with your ass. That's why we're saying Donald Trump, who incited that January 6th insurrection, coming back to be president, number one, he's going to release everyone with a conviction, which is over 700 of them right now, with a conviction, serving jail time. He's going to release those people. And boy, oh boy, what kind of shit they're going to start by releasing those people. They're going to think that they got the shit going on and they're going to be able to come out of jail and do the same shit over again when he loses this election. And really, if America is going to be okay, then Donald Trump's going to lose. But if America still want to go down this damn rabbit hole and be the bitch that they have been to people, then we're in for a treat, a hell of a treat. It's going to be the worst treat we ever got. It's going to be a bad treat. For 400 years, we've asked America to not think of black people as less than a human being. But America took it to another level. They put it in the Constitution that we were 3/5 of a man. that we couldn't drink out of the same water fountain as them, less known eat at the same lunch counter. All this shit happened under Joe Biden's watch. Civil rights movement, the German shepherds attacking the black people that are trying to protest, the police beating the black people for crossing the Edmund Pettus Bridge. All this stuff is based on hate of our people and making us stay in our place. You know, we have a place, but it ain't where they think it is. Every place we've ever excelled, they put the brakes on it and changed it. They changed the rules in the middle of the game and think that's okay. And who in their right mind don't know why the rules change? We all know why the rules change. They change because we've gotten too smart for the white man. And every time he come up with some bullshit, we outsmart him at his own shit. And that's what the problem is. We, as descendants of slaves, we don't give a fuck about you shooting us or beating us up. We mad about it. We're going to get you for it. But we don't give a fuck what you think. If you want to fight, let's fight. If you want to talk, let's talk. But you don't want to talk. You don't even want to admit the atrocious atrocities that you have done to our people in America, our black people, our descendants of slaves. You know, there's no excuse for saying for the things that you have done to our people. Ain't no excuse for it. Ain't no excuse that you have not attempted to pay reparations or anything of that sort, or even just issued an apology for it. And Bill Clinton, you can shut the fuck up because your little apology don't mean nothing. An apology without change is not an apology. That's where the problem is. We have to have change in America for your apology to be effective. Otherwise, you're just pissing in the wind, trying to tell us it's raining. It's unacceptable, and it's something that we will always be against. You not accepting responsibility for the things you have done. Some of the dictators in the world is Omar al-Bashir. He's in Sudan. Kim Jong-il in North Korea. Than Sui in Burma. Robert Mugabe in Zimbabwe. And on and on and on. There are certain dictators all across the world. But if you knew where America placed in the democratic society's working democracy scale, you'd be shocked. The number one working democracy in the world is Denmark, where they have free health care, where free schooling, free colleges. Then it's Norway, Finland, Sweden, then Germany. You still haven't heard USA yet. Then you have Switzerland. These are all the democratic rankings of a society on the planet. And I'm just going to go as far as to America, and I'm going to stop there. You have the Netherlands, New Zealand, Belgium, Costa Rica, Spain, Luxembourg, Australia, Estonia, Iceland, Ireland, and then you come to number 17, which is the United Kingdom. Now, America still didn't come up yet. Number 17 is the United Kingdom. Then you got Austria, France, South Korea. All these people are ahead of the USA when it comes to working democracies. You got Japan, Canada, Portugal, Taiwan. URUG, UAY, Uruguay, something like that. Cyprus, Chile, Slovakia, Greece, still ain't to America. And Greece is number 31. Czech Republic, that's in Russia. Latvia, Latvia, Barbados, Israel, and then the US of A. Those are the rankings of the countries when it comes to democracy. You and I need to realize that if you are not registered to vote, you should get registered to vote. And I ain't here to be no advocate to try to make you go to the poll. I ain't giving you no damn ride to the poll. I ain't bringing you no water. I'm just being straight up with you. You got to have the initiative and the self-want for yourself and your family's future to get off your ass, get registered to vote, and vote. Even though, you always been, oh, your vote don't elect the president. No, it does not. It elect the president. But what your vote does do, it elects the people in the House of the Representative, and it elects the Senate. And those people come from the many states in America. And those are the people who accumulate the vote for the president. So if you don't participate and elect those individuals, then whose fault is that? That ain't the country's fault. That's your fault as an individual fault. That's just like the Supreme Court laying down the law saying you're free to do what you want to do. And then the Constitution come back and say, you can't do shit. Like in the Fifth Amendment, it says, we're never going to deprive you of your property. And I'm paraphrasing. And then you come back in the 14th Amendment. It tells you the U.S. don't owe you a damn thing. And don't ask for it, because if you do, we're going to lock your ass up for begging from the U.S. government. You are not going to get anything. That's where we are in America today. Are we going to be a dictatorship with Donald Trump and J.D. Vance? Or are we going to be a democracy with Kamala Harris and Tim Walz? It's a decision that's weighing very strong and heavily on 1,000 million trillion people right now. And if we don't get this shit right in America, we're going to slip further down that damn slippery pole where they're already looking at us as clowns. They're looking at our whole entire system as a joke. And it's a joke because look at our priorities as a country. Our priorities is electing a damn fool for president. And then when the news reporters asked, said, well, what did Joe Biden do that was so bad? Oh, he did not take care of the border. But see, the border been a problem all along. These politicians think they so goddamn smart that they come up with shit that's been going on for 100 years. Joe Biden ain't the first president that ran into problem with the border. In fact, Obama deported more people than Joe Biden at this point in his career. More people by Obama. So with that, I want you to ponder the thought on democracy or dictatorship. And you make the call. But if you decide that you want a democracy, then get down there and vote. If you don't want a democracy or don't care who wins, then don't do shit then. That's your prerogative, and ain't nobody gonna do shit about it. You don't have to vote if you don't want to, but we encourage you to vote, vote, vote. This is the Black News Network, the real voice of Black USA, coming at you on Wednesday at our 6:30 broadcast. And we are about to go out, and we're going to come back on Sunday with a different story. And it might be the same story that we're talking about right now. Have a blessed Wednesday afternoon.